Oh, guys, listen. My head was hot, so I'm hella confused what the hell's going on. You know what I'm saying? Flip me. You know it's different. You know when it's peak, when Terry's internet is messing up and Man United is lost at the same time. Everyone's head is fried. I am so frustrated. See, here's the thing. I'm just coming on to say my frustrations. I'm dipping because I've got things to be doing, like enjoying my life, than watching this damn team do foolishness week in, week out. Oh my day. My main issue is the attack right now. The attack. The attack, the attack, the attack. The attack is so disjointed, it is ridiculous. Tell me why. Tell me why we go on an attack and our own players are tripping up our players. I saw Martial trip up Garnacho on a counter attack. I saw Maguire play the ball in the dying moments of our player and it goes for their throw-in. I'm seeing Rashford in two minds of deciding to actually take a man on and shoot or take a man and cross. Hoyland, he is so raw, and I'm not trying to get. I'm not even trying to get in on him. I'm not even trying to go in because he's just come in. But bruv, the guy's raw, and the reason why we can't help him get through this situation and transition him easier is because we don't have an actual striker who's old enough and experienced. You've got Martial, who's either injured or just not up to the pace of the game, or you've got Rashford, who right now is out of form. Hello, Terry. Nice to see you again.
I'm back now, bro. All sorted now. All sorted.
Okay,
we'll bring you in with the panel real soon. Top man for jumping in, KJ. I appreciate that. Sorry. Sue,
I'm not here to chat or debate or conversate or whatever. I'm just here to vent and leave. You know what I'm saying?
Go for it. Go for it.
Bruv, the attack, like I was saying earlier, the attack is disjointed as hell. Then the one thing that I want Ten Hag to fix the most is this attack. Get it working. I don't care what combination you use. Rashford, no Rashford. Hoyland, no Hoyland. Flipping at this right, play Martial and see if he actually can revive himself. Screw it. I don't flipping care. I just need to see goals and wins. That's all I need. That's all I need right now, because right now, these fools can't hit a barn door if it was wide open. Honestly, it's a flipping joke. Today, what I saw was so frustrating because it's just simple things. Passages of play. Just get the ball to the guy who can score goals. That's all it is. But we're doing too much passing around, making the pass be under hit, making the pass be over hit. Nothing's precise. Everything's scrambly right now. I'm just today is one of those games where I'm like, we weren't even bad in terms of defending, in terms of the controlling the midfield. We weren't bad, so I can do. I'm cool with that.
You beat them when it mattered, though.
To the final third, it was all over the place. And I say Casemiro today, he was flipping high. I don't know what happened to him today. His passing was atrocious, and I'm not blaming the ref because the ref ain't the reason why we didn't win. We didn't win because we didn't score goals. But man, like Chris Kavanagh today was such an awful performance as a referee. It was flipping awful. He touched there, man, go down. It's a free kick. Our people get taken out. 50-50 chance of it actually going to us. Is what it is. Anyway, my main point is, Terry, and it will be until next week or whenever the next game is, we need to get our attack cooking. I don't care what combination. I don't care who gets dropped to make that happen. But as long as our attack is working, I believe the team can actually get somewhere. Right now, we're moving like Chelsea. Yeah. All the ball, no idea how to get the ball in the back of the net.
Yeah, no, listen, I know you hear the vent. Listen, and I agree with everything you just said there, mate. And look, there'll be things that people pull holes in. But again, 70, people talk about maintain possession. Why did you buy certain players? To do what we did today. 77% of the ball. We had the openings. We had the opportunities. We had the chances. We were just awful in that final ball with our shot today. I don't know if you agree with that, Dizzy. I don't know how you saw the game from a United perspective.
Well, here's my thing. I'm gonna keep it nice and short. Every game that we lose, there's a different reason why we lose. But at the end of the day, when you look at the table, it's 4 losses in 7. One day is we got played off the park. The other day it's fine margins. Today it's our finishers can't finish. There's something wrong at Man United fundamentally, and every game is something else. But at the end of the day, it all boils down to what are you competing for and what are you pushing to win when all is said and done. And at this rate, This was our period to go on the run. This was our period to maybe drop a point, maybe drop a couple draws in here, but we were supposed to go unbeaten up until City, more or less, and we couldn't do it. We played 2 games where we won well, and that was it. So for me personally, yeah, we could blame the finishing, we can blame Casemiro, we can blame any player that you like, really, but at the end of the day, we keep losing, regardless of why. I don't really care. I just want to stop losing. That's my whole thing.
Bro, listen, I agree with you. Do you know what's interesting when we say fine? By the way, I think Jones might be going off here for got to go for that. Oh, it's horrendous.
He's gone. He's gone.
Yeah, horrendous that is. Oh, look at that. That could have broken Basuma's. Is that Basuma? Yeah, could have broken his leg. Horrendous. Got to go. Yeah, he has gone. Yeah, we'll talk about that on the reaction show. But yeah, 100% of red Spurs. What a chance they've got now. I get where you're coming from, Dizzy, and I want to throw this out to both Camerons. By the way, other Cameron, that's Cameron. Both Camerons on the show today, United fans. Arsenal's was fine margins, but against Spurs in the first half, should have been 2 or 3 up. Against Brighton, although they scored, first 20 minutes, we should have scored goals. Even after they scored, we should have scored goals. I look at the Munich game. Up until their first goal, we had 2 or 3 great opportunities to score. I just feel like in most of our defeats, we know we've got some flaws that we need to improve on. But it feels to me, from the outside looking in, if we finish our chances and our good opportunities, if you look at all 5 defeats in all competitions this year, I think at least 3 of them could have been avoided. I don't know what you think. I'm going to go to Canadian Cam first.
Yeah, you're not wrong. It's been fine margins for most games. This game, I didn't really think that, though. This game, the whole time I was watching, I was thinking, where are all the possession merchants at? Where people talk about possession football, we need more of the ball, this and that. I was frustrated on a few things, and honestly, like, I'm not normally negative, but I don't think Højlund, is ready for the big lights. For me, he has a lot of things to learn. I don't love a lot of the runs he's making at the moment. He's not making any near post runs, which you've got to do as a striker when we're whipping in balls. It feels like every cross we put in today went to a white shirt, basically. And I get it. They had 8 guys in the box, but at some point you got to have people there who can, flick it on, get something, right? You got to get touches and shots on. A lot of people who Rashford was trash today. I'll agree. Like, he wasn't good, but he's stuck in this world of, I got to now feed Højlund, and I'm sitting there being like, just shoot, because that's what you do. Rashford isn't. Everyone's like, oh, I want my wingers to make people better around them. I don't really care. Score, put the ball in the net, because that's all I really want. That's all I'm really looking for at this point. With Rashford, there were a few times where he passed the ball and he's trying to make difficult passes, and this is part of his decision-making problems. But there's a few times where I'm like, just shoot the ball, man. We need to get shots on target. Like when Garnacho came in, I was happy. I was like, yes, just do that. That's all we need. We had multiple issues today when it came to just hitting the target. You look at Mount. Mount had in my opinion, if Mount does what he did today every single game, I'm happy. That's what we brought him in for. 6.5, 7 out of 10 performances. But missing the target on that header killed me, because it's like, you just need to hit the target. And that's something we seem to be having a big issue with. People coming for Ten Hag, fair enough. You can't lose 4 games in 7. I think that is something that needs to be criticized. So he's got to figure that out. I don't know what. Like when KJ says our defense wasn't bad, sure, because we had the ball most of the time. But when we didn't, we looked panicky. And that's because Victor Lindelof should not be starting every single game. Victor Lindelof should be playing when there's very few games in the season, in my opinion, should be starting. So we have our problems, right? And it's tough to you can look at the silver lining where, yes, in the Spurs game, you score that header from Bruno, things are probably different. Garnacho's not outside in the Arsenal game, things are definitely going to be different in that game. But at the end of the day, if that continues to happen, there's a deeper problem, because we shouldn't be.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree with that. There are definitely areas that need, as I say, I don't think we're flawless and we're just not taking chances, but we scored first again. Once we scored against Burnley, they stopped all their threat.
So here's the thing, though. That's a good point.
We scored against Crystal Palace midweek, and we were comfortable. As soon as something goes wrong for us, then you see our flaws really get highlighted. Because up until their goal, they weren't really an issue.
But Terry, here's our big problem. You just hit it. It's like, if we don't score early, we don't win games. Like if we,
don't score most often,
we don't score, we don't win. We have to figure out this.
I
We have to figure out what it is with this team where it's like if we don't like. If we get, it's a weird, it is a mentality thing at this point because our players just can't get out of their own heads that they're nervous out there. They have to score, and I don't know I don't know how we're gonna solve it because again, Højlund's not the guy right now. I don't think.
No, he looks very, very raw. Cam, what's your thoughts on today, brother?
Yeah, with me, as you can tell, I'm not really, I'm not shocked. So I'm not furious. I'm not shocked.
Nope.
Not furious. I'm not even angry. I watched that game literally with my face as straight as possible because I knew the manager would come into the Premier League and bring Bruno and Rashford back. I know we played against Palace's B team, but that's the best we've played this season. Hannibal, Mount, and Casemiro all looked good. They all looked competent. At the end of the day, they're still playing against Premier League players. Premier League quality players. Because last time when I was here and we beat Burnley 1-0 and I wasn't happy with the performance, I said we shouldn't be performing like this against inferior sides. And then I was being told that, these sides aren't so inferior because we're so bad. If we were so bad, then why could we dominate Palace midweek without Bruno and Rashford? So then the managers brought them back in now. And I knew exactly what was going to happen. Palace don't keep the ball. I knew we were going to play well for the first 20 minutes and then capitulate after 20 minutes. Every game we've lost, even one, the first 20, we've played well and then we've capitulated because we cannot maintain a style of play because we don't know how we want to play. The manager is not drilling his philosophy into these players in training. Clearly, he wants to play a possession-based game. That's why he signed Onana and he wants ball-playing centre-backs. But I genuinely believe, and I'm trying my best not to be onto Bruno Fernandes here, but I genuinely believe if you want to play a possession-based game, we will never be successful with Bruno Fernandes being our main man. He didn't lose
possession today. He was fine today. So
listen. It's not about.
No, but you're allowed to have your Bruno agenda. Just say it. It's fine. But at the end of the day,
it's not an agenda.
No. It is.
It's not an agenda because Mount played better than him. Mount gave us that 6 point whatever or 7 that you're asking for. Mount gave that. Bruno was below that. Mount played better than Bruno. See, this is 100% played better than Bruno.
You didn't watch the same game then.
Bruno created 2 chances across.
4 chances today. Created 4 chances.
What chances did he create?
And had 2 of the best chances to score. Straight up. So I'm sorry.
Højlund's best chance was from a Rashford. Højlund's best chance was from a Rashford first time hit. First time pass.
Bruno forced the only save. The only proper save was forced by Bruno. What game did you watch?
But the crazy part for me about all of this is why the whole player agenda nonsense stinks because we keep losing with all of these players on the pitch.
Exactly.
Who cares who was good and who was
exactly? What I'm saying is, I'm asking the manager, can you please just give us one game against a worse side without Bruno and Rashford? Let's just see something.
When we lose, what happens?
Yeah, but do you know what it is? The problem
we lose it.
I understand where you're coming from. See, for me, I didn't want Rashford to come back in today because I think he's been poor. I got from Bruno what I knew we would get from him today returning into this team is with everybody holding the possession behind him and winning the ball back relatively quickly, he would have opportunities to thread balls, create passes. And there was there was a ball from him early in the game where he got the ball. Wonderful first time pass on the right hand side, broke lines. Yeah. Again, what did Palestri do with it? Nothing. There was another ball that he played, first touch, and then he kind of half volleyed it with his right foot. It was beautifully struck to Rashford, who had all the room in the world to go on the outside and cross the ball. Rashford went on the inside and did absolutely nothing with it. Bruno in this game today, he's always going to lose possession between 15 and 25 times per game because what he tries to do is break lines. When you're trying to break lines, you lose the ball more. However, he still completed a lot of passes, created the most amount of chances. What we didn't have today when he broke those lines was somebody's final ball working. And then when he did create the chances, a header for Casemiro, there was the header opportunity that he created for Liverpool gone 1-0 up down to 10 men. There we go. Wow, Liverpool. So I get where you're coming from, but Bruno did today what I expected from Bruno. Yeah. Oh, that's offside, so I've been given offside. I expected him to break lines, which he did, and create opportunities and chances. So I disagree with you on Bruno. I completely agree when it comes to Marcus Rashford because he hasn't been in good form and he was awful again today. And I'm someone that likes Marcus Rashford. I genuinely like him. That actually could be onside. I'm not too sure. It's in the lines. That looks onside to me. But like, I kind of look at it and think to myself, I'm half with you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
However, I also kind of get where you're coming from. That maybe maybe we need a body of work. Maybe we need 5, 6, 7 games where those two are on the bench, and let's see if we do become a better football team. I understand completely where you're coming from.
I guarantee we would.
Again, I think we might move the ball better, but I do think what we would lack is, because I think Andres Pereira, with the ball at his feet, is technically better than Bruno. But the problem is his level of creativity against low blocks was awful, where Bruno Fernandes will create 3 or 4 gilt-edged chances for us per game. Yeah. So for me, where I think we improve on Bruno is this. This is what we need to find. Somebody that has a bit more ball retention and technical ability who can also create and or score at his rate. Otherwise, or you bring someone else to replace Bruno, but someone else elsewhere in the team has got to pick up the mantle on that creativity. And right now, I think the fear the manager has is that there's no one else in this team that can do it. So this is about maybe buying someone that can,
And that's the problem. The manager has too much fear. Too much fear. He's just, when it comes to a Premier League game, he just relies on Bruno and Rashford, which I get because they create chances, they score goals, whatever. But that is just a second-hand excuse for not having a style of play. The manager doesn't know how he wants to play, because 1 week is possession. Today, the only way you're going to play against Palace is with possession. They don't want the ball. We all know that, right? We can all agree with that, right? Palace don't want the ball, so they're going to let you have it. But if Palace have done their homework, which they clearly have, first 20, let them have it, create a couple chances, pop the ball around, and then we're going to hit them on a counter. Palace's first chance wasn't a goal. Jeffrey Schlupp was through on goal and he didn't score. Do you get it? So it's not like we're the only team that misses chances. Palace miss chances too. It's just the difference is they're competent and they know how they want to play. Of course, we conceded a wonder goal. The referee I think it should have been a pen when Anderson handballed it. But these things, they're fine margins every single time, as you said. I think the manager just needs to make some big decisions.
No, mate, listen, and I don't disagree with you, because at the end of the day, we're dominating the ball more so in recent games than we have done, and we've got to finish our chances when we get it, but we've also got to maintain composure, and that's our problem. We lose it, and that is something I will look at the manager at, because there are lesser teams with worse players than us who maintain better composure. I wanted to do super chats.